Today is Holy Thursday. This is a very special day for us all as we continue in our meditation on the Lord's Passion. So yesterday was Spy Wednesday, we looked at his betrayal, and today he gathers in the upper room with his apostles to institute the Eucharist, ordain them priests, say goodbye, and prepare himself for what's about to come in his Passion. And I've chosen to bring you to a very special place today to meditate with you on that mystery. We're actually standing in Nazareth, his home birthplace. Behind me you see the city, the modern city of Nazareth, of course, which is built on the ancient spot, and then the beautiful valley that stretches out, and you can hear maybe the birds singing in the background. The sun is coming up in the morning. It's beautiful, it's peaceful, it's calm, it's wonderful. It's everything that we would like our life to be. It's secure, full of natural beauty in the seasons of the year. There's no wonder that Jesus wanted to live here. I have to admit, even though our Lord's life, of course, was full of difficulties, he also chose a very agreeable place to live. This is a climate which is rather wonderful. And when you look behind me at his home birthplace and some of the sights that he would have seen, of course, that's the same valley that he would have grown up in and seen and walked through, etc. Here in Galilee, you're struck by what he gave up for us. And on this Holy Thursday, where we celebrate the gift of himself, body, blood, soul, and divinity in the Eucharist, you know, when we use that word gift, I think we use it a little bit lightly sometimes, almost like, well, isn't it sweet that Jesus gave us a gift? But I want to challenge you with that, because when you realize that the gift he gave was himself, it means that he didn't get anything back, right? And the proof of the value and the strength of the gift of Jesus is our own struggle to make gifts of ourselves. If you think about how hard it is to parent, how hard it is to be obedient to your parents, how hard it is to be a friend to your relatives, to forgive, and then forgive your enemies. Forgive those who don't even ask for forgiveness, right? The reason why it's so hard for us is because you realize whatever you give away, you can't have anymore. You lose. Right? And the deep law of a sinful person is to say that whatever I lose means that there's less of me. And so consequently, we don't want to lose, which means we don't really want to give. If we do give, it's because we want to get paid back. We want to gain something from it. We want our lives to be not only easy and nice, but also alone in our little world or our little bubbles. And this is, of course, the way of sinners. And our Lord was a saint. He was the Holy One. He's the Holy One of God. And he shows us a whole different way of life. Because being here in Nazareth, I tell you, I'm not really looking forward to going to Jerusalem. You kind of just want to stay here in Galilee when you're in the Holy Land. It's so wonderful and peaceful. And yet our Lord left this behind. And he went on the dusty roads in the face of people who wanted to kill him into a city where they thought they were superior to his whole region of the country, where they despised his lack of education in the rabbinical schools, where they insulted his mother, insulted his father, and then called him not only crazy, but possessed by a devil. Why in the world would he want to do that, right? And it's the same logic in doing all of that would push him to then give his body and blood to men who are about to betray him, about to deny him 3 times, about to flee from him, and then even after he dies, still not understand why he died, what the point of his death was. I mean, can you imagine going to your death for people and saying, I'm doing this for you, and having them say, we don't understand. We'd rather that you not do it for us, you know. And the whole thing, Christ, like a beautiful father, completely in control of all things, goes and does it anyway. He knows what's best. He knows that he has us in his hand. Not only will he die for us, but he'll bring us to understand his death. And then he'll make us follow him in a death that's patterned after his own. And as he gave up everything so as to be a gift of love for us and glorify the Father, so he's asking us to give up everything and to be a gift of love to glorify him and to build up our families, our spouses, our world. You see, there's this law that I like so much. You can only keep what you give away. The only thing you have when you die is everything that you've given away. And the most precious and beautiful, the more precious and beautiful that your life is, the more wonderful it is when you give it to others. Look at what he says here in John chapter 13. This is John's introduction to the Last Supper, which is so eloquent. The hour had come. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was being served, and the devil had already prompted Judas Iscariot, son of Simon, to betray Jesus. Right? And we go into the whole scene of that Last Supper, the feast day of today. And certainly the imagery at the liturgy is all around the deep love that's present in the Eucharist, and the love and that's present for Christ, for his priests. And we celebrate that. But I want us to also celebrate the love that's present inside of Jesus for each one of us. I mean, he lost everything so as to gain us. Now, think of it this way. He lost everything so as to gain you. Do you look at yourself with as much love as Jesus looks at you? Certainly not. But that's like kind of sad. And not only sad, but like here's an opportunity. You can. When you're here, you feel it in the Holy Land. You feel the almost like from the ground on up, what kind of life this Jesus had, and the beauty of what Our Lady must have been, and the incredible sanctity and goodness of Saint Joseph. And Christ left it all. Why? To go into a world that's kind of like sad and harsh and brittle and hurtful, of rejection, violence, darkness, because that's where we were. He was the good shepherd who went after that sheep who was lost. And that sacrifice that entailed from him only speaks to the value of what he was looking for. The value of one soul. It's worth the whole world. The whole world is not equal to a single soul. And you have one. And you are one. And you are a beloved son and daughter of Jesus. And our God went through everything for us. It's such a lesson for us to not think too highly of the things of this world. Again, as wonderful as everything is here in Nazareth, it's not as wonderful as a love in a heart that beats for another. And for all the wonderful things of our life, they would be spoiled if we lived our life for what we could possess. If we lived our life for the things that we had, the status, the opinions of others, the comforts of this world. I mean, they're fine. It's even very good. But we're supposed to use those things. See, those are almost like fuel for a fire that's bigger than them. And when we act like those things are for what we're supposed to live, that for the sake of which we do everything else, we're really trivializing the deep fire. We make it like ineffective. And instead we become drowned in all the things that we have that are left soulless. Christ doesn't want them to be left soulless. He doesn't want our world to be empty. He wants it to be full. Well, to be full, we need to give it away. To be full, we need to see that nothing is greater than love, and that love makes all things meaningful, all things beautiful. Love fills this world with meaning. The beauty that we see shining out here in Nazareth, it was shining in his heart and in his eyes as he hung upon the cross. He took all of the goodness of the earth, but he spiritualized it, right? That's what a human being does as well. What we do as well, we take all the goodness of the things, our family, our traditions, our relationships, and we make them part of the gift. And that means that we lose them. Yeah. But you don't lose anything you give away. You just make it part and parcel of that deep fire that burns within us. Jesus wants that fire to burn within us. He wants this Holy Thursday to be different, not just a celebration of his gift, of his body and blood, but through and in that gift, the celebration of our gift, of our body and our blood, of our time and of our energy, to not hold back. We don't live for this world. Jesus didn't live for Galilee. We don't live for the things that from where we came and our roots and our beautiful things. We live for love and God, and we press on towards that end goal towards which we're striving. Heaven, the Father, communion in God. And we don't lose track of that for anything. The secret of the battle of wisdom in our life is to stay focused on the right things. My friends, let's not let anything get in the way of that wisdom. Let's instead ask God today, who is it that he's placed in our life for us to love? And ask him for the strength to let go and to give and to die to all those other things so that we can nail that gift of love. We can be those eyes of Jesus for the world looking for him. We can go after the lost sheep ourselves, not be afraid of the brambles and the thorns and the things that they're going to tear at our clothes and all the dirtiness, right? The dirt that we're going to get on us by going towards those who are lost. It's not a question of the dirt on us. It's a question of the fire within us. And that fire within us comes from God. That's what Christianity is supposed to be. Jesus, send us into the battle. Send me where it's dirty. Send me where it's tough. I'm not in this world to enjoy the things of this world as if it was all about me. I enjoy them because they're all about you. And they're a gift that I can bring to others. That's the Christian genius. That's what Holy Thursday is all about. The gift of his body and his blood, so that we too can be a gift for one another. May God bless you. May he continue to accompany you this Lent and this Holy Week and this Holy Triduum. May it be a time close to him and a time where he prepares you for the great gift of yourself in the Mass, on the cross, and in the resurrection. May God bless you all.